What up? It's your boy Wall Street, and I'm back. And Marvin Bagley is back in DC. It was announced that Marvin Bagley III will be signing a one-year deal to return to the Washington Wizards, the team where, he started the 24-25 NBA season. He was traded at the deadline to the Memphis Grizzlies alongside Johnny Davis, and now he's coming back. Obviously, the Wizards have kind of depleted their front court depth. There's not a lot of depth there at all. Alex Sarr is probably going to play the 5. I think he's more of a 4, but he's going to play the 5. But now we have Marvin Bagley to kind of back us up. We still have Rashawn Holmes. I believe Tristan Vucevic is a restricted free agent, but I think they want to bring him back as well. And the roster's getting a little crowded, so we'll see if all these dudes make the team. But I'm a fan of Marvin Bagley. Okay? I know a lot of people give this guy a bad rap. He had the worst season of his career this past year, just didn't get a lot of playing time. And, I just don't think it's really fair, honestly. He's the number 2 overall pick in the 2018 NBA draft. I think a big reason why people don't give him credit is, number 1, he doesn't really stay healthy. And 2, obviously, he was the pick right before Luka Doncic. So everyone's going to call him a bust. Everyone's going to say that he's not, a good NBA player, this, that, whatever. But if you look at his stats, he's a solid NBA player, right? He has a career average of 12 points per game, 6.5 rebounds. He's played 289 games. He's been in the league for 7 years, so that's not great in terms of availability. But, he's a solid player. And I think there's a chance for him to see extended minutes if, Alex Sarr goes down. Hopefully that does not happen. So I think this is a good signing. I don't know the financials on the deal, but I would imagine Will Dawkins signed him to a 1-year, vets minimum type of deal. But he's only 26 years old. He's a young player still. He's the number 2 overall pick in the 2018 NBA draft. Again, there was plenty of very good players picked after him. Luka Doncic at the number 3 slot. Trae Young at number 5. You had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander also getting taken in the first round. So everyone's always going to say, why would you take Marvin Bagley over those guys? But the NBA draft every single year is a crapshoot. You never know who you're actually going to get when you pick a player. It's very tough to predict, right? Because if it was easy to predict, Luka Doncic would have went number 1. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would have went 1 or 2. You put Luka and Shai at the 1 and 2. Who the hell knows, right? It's just so hard to predict. So I'm not going to discredit what Marvin Bagley can do based on where he was drafted. It's just not. I don't think it's the right thing to do. But he's obviously going to be a backup big. Like I said, had the worst season of his career in terms of production. But he went from 24 minutes a night in 24 games for the Wizards in the 23-24 season to 8.7 minutes in 19 games for the Wizards this past season, and even less, minutes in production when he was on the Grizzlies for 12 games. So I think it's a good move. Will Dawkins, I still think, is cooking. He's absolutely cooking. Him and the new Hawks GM, Onsi Saleh, I probably mispronounced that, so I apologize, but these two dudes are cooking. They are getting after it, trying to make moves and do things to build their teams up. The Hawks are in a great slot right now, doing everything that they can do to be a good team next year, while the East is wide open with Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton out for the season. Who knows what's happening with Dame Lillard. And I think the Wizards are, doing the best that they can to build for the future. They got all the, the guys from last year's draft getting into the summer league. You got the guys from this year's draft, and Will Riley, Jameer Watkins, Trey Johnson. All those guys are going to be at summer league too. I think it's going to be a really good year for this team in terms of just building that chemistry and doing things that they need to do. And I think bringing back Marvin Bagley, a familiar face, the dude brings a very positive attitude. He's a very nice guy. If you watch his interviews, he's very down to earth. Doesn't let a lot of things get to him. Doesn't really get upset. He's passionate about the game of basketball, and he's a very solid rebounder. I will give him that. He's a very good rebounder. He takes pretty good, efficient shots. He's not a star player, and I don't think at this point in his career he's going to be a star player. I don't think anyone is expecting him to do that. But he's a solid NBA player. I think he's a very solid second or third center off the bench. He's probably not going to play more than, call it, 15 minutes a night, if that. But he's a good guy to have in the locker room. I think he's a guy that can, speak to some of these younger rookies and be like, hey, like, I was the second overall pick and my career hasn't really turned out the way that I thought it was going to, but I'm still here giving it my all and, putting work in every day. And I think that's going to be an inspiring message to really, give to these young dudes. And he's been on a decent amount of teams at this point in his career too. So I like this signing. I think it's going to be good, but I want to know what you guys think, man. If you're a Wizards fan, let me know what you think about Marvin Bagley III coming back to the Wizards, coming back to the DMV. Let me know your thoughts. But I'm going to catch you guys later, man. Stay up, stay blessed, stay safe, stay humble, handle business, stand on business. Peace out.